The next guests on Smarter San Diego TV are father-daughter reverse mortgage experts. Please welcome the Harmes team, Scott and Christina Harmes.
They're back! The Harmes team! What's going on, guys?
Good to be here with you.
All right, big topic today. As we're seeing a crazy amount of people, new retirees every single day, a crazy amount of people turning 62 every day. We're looking for the big picture today, Scott, as far as managing home equity. So give us a little background on kind of how this all works and how reverse mortgage plays in.
Well, it's interesting, Eric. We are seeing a wave of retirees. More than 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day.
10,000 a day.
10,000 a day. And their asset mix is different than prior generations. You know, my dad had a pension, worked for utility. That was his primary retirement along with Social Security. Today, as the baby boomers coming to retirement, most of them don't have that defined benefit plan, that pension. So look to Social Security, IRA, 401k, etc. Their biggest asset in many cases, especially here in Southern California, is the equity in their home. And so that's where reverse mortgage can come in and help them manage the home equity. Because if you really take a look at it, a lot of these baby boomer retirees will have at least 50% equity. With a reverse mortgage, you can tap half of that equity in a variety of ways. So that's increasing the assets they can manage by 25%. Now that's an important number because in past generations, they'd worked for 40 years and retired for 10 years. So the rule of thumb was they had to save 20% of their income. Today's generation with the baby boomers, they work for 40 years and retire for 20 years. That means they should have saved, by rule of thumb, 33% of their income.
Wow.
And that's just not happening. So as the baby boomers are looking across their options, their assets, what can we do for cash flow? Because that's the key thing in retirement is income and cash flow. That biggest asset they have, their home equity, is something they need to actively manage.
Okay, and that's not normal. Like, that's not what people have been taught. They've been taught, you know, you pay off your house and then you don't have a house payment anymore, and good job. But people don't realize that that can be another stream of income that can be managed with the other assets that they may have accumulated.
Well, that's true, and in fact, in other countries, they don't use the term reverse mortgage. They use the term home pension. And so it's really looked at as more of a standard retirement tool than it has been here in the U.S. Now, they call it a reverse mortgage because it works the same way as a traditional mortgage.
Right.
In that anybody who's had a mortgage knows that every month when they make their payment, their balance goes down a painfully small amount. Where with a reverse mortgage, you don't have a payment each month, and each month the balance goes up a painfully small amount. So it truly is like a home pension because in every case, in a reverse mortgage, cash flow is improved. Either the house payment goes away, so that's improved cash flow, or if you don't currently have a mortgage, you can get a 10-year payment, a payment every month for as long as you live in the home, increasing your cash flow.
So those are sort of the options then.
Well, two of the options. You
Two
can
of the
also,
options, there's more.
Yeah, the other one is it's called a standby line of credit. And that is used, you know, maybe perhaps for the baby boomers who have been diligent savers and don't feel an immediate cash flow need, but they use the standby line of credit reverse mortgage so that they can manage their investment portfolio more creatively. We've talked a little about this in the past where in up years in the market, you draw off of your investment portfolio. In down years in the market, you draw on your reverse mortgage. And that can triple the life of the investment portfolio.
Which is unbelievably huge, because as you've said, and you've alluded to it, but the numbers are really bad. I don't even want to say the numbers are so bad, but people just haven't saved. They just haven't, for the most part. They haven't saved enough money in 401ks and IRAs and stuff like that. But people have done a decent job of buying a home and paying down their mortgage, so this is great stuff. Christina. Things are also changing in the dynamics of relationships, heirs, adult children. A lot of these retirees we're talking about, they have a mom or dad that's involved in the mix too. How does that all fit into these options?
You know, I kind of want to jump back. There's a big misconception that people just haven't saved. And I really think boomers get kind of a bad rap I'm a daughter of a boomer. I happen to work with a lot of boomers, and they're really where my heart is. Boomers get a bad rap. A lot of them put their children through college, and every dollar they spent to put their children through college wasn't going into a 401k. Meanwhile, they were still paying off their house, so now there's great equity, but that 401k may not have the liquidity that they wanted it to.
Okay.
So now a reverse mortgage comes in, we can give them that liquidity, and a lot of the time the kids, the heirs, they're good with that. Personally, my parents did a really good job raising me, and I don't need their house. When he gets a reverse mortgage, I'll be happy about it, and I'll be happy that they're secure and that mom and dad are going to live financially secure.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a really good analogy that, in fact, is real. That's a true life story, in fact.
Yeah, we see that all over the board. There's a lot of kids that come to the meetings and mom and dad go, oh, we have to leave the house. And kids are going, why? We have good jobs. We have our own house. We don't need yours, mom and dad. Take care of yourself right now.
Yeah.
You know, that really comes, I think, from the country's agricultural history where the kids were raised on the farm. Mom and dad get too old to farm anymore. They give the farm to the kids, and then the kids take care of mom and dad. Well, that's not the way it works in today's industrial society. Mom and dad raise the kids, pay off the house, the kids go on, and now mom and dad have to take care of themselves. And we really find that some of the biggest proponents for reverse mortgages are the kids who are concerned about mom and dad being safe and secure in retirement.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I really, really am, because you hear the horror stories sometimes of kids being greedy and heirs being greedy and stuff like that, but that's really the exception and not the rule. So it's great to hear that that's the case in your experience as well.
Well, and it's a really good fit in Southern California because our appreciation rates are so high. That appreciation rates, how do they compare with current reverse mortgage rates?
They outpace it. On average, the long-term appreciation in San Diego is 6.6, which is much higher than the average reverse mortgage rate right now. So appreciation just keeps going up.
Okay. So
And what that means is, even after the reverse mortgage is in place, equity can keep growing in many cases. So there's a common misconception that, as soon as I get a reverse mortgage, my equity is gone, and that's just not the case.
Okay, because the appreciation is outpacing that balance.
Exactly.
So you're
That's
actually could still be growing equity potentially, even though you're involved in a reverse mortgage where you're getting payments every month, or you received a cash sum up front, which is really cool.
That's kind of the eye-opener with the heirs sometimes. Oh, there's still going to be equity in 20 years? Oh, that's not what I thought.
Right. Well, Rebecca,
Yes.
let's take a look at social media. We asked a very simple question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what people were thinking in this realm.
Yeah, so the question was, would you rather have a paid-off house or an equivalent 401k when you retire? Most people went with paid-off house. However, Cleopatra Ariosta says 401 to enjoy my life. Would, of course, like both.
Yeah, a lot of people said, of course, we'd like to have both. But then there was other people. In fact, Sandy, why don't you read her comment?
Sandy Modric, I'm sorry, Hayes. I was going to say Sandy Hayes says,
Sandy Hayes, there you go.
I don't trust the stock market, so it's definitely paid off house.
So a lot of people, and we polled people who were just 61 years or older, and so a lot of those people said paid off house. Almost everyone said that. A few people said we don't trust the stock market, which is really wise, frankly, because when you're making that payment towards your home, you know what it's going to, you know what you're getting. But I think a lot of these people still don't know how much they could use that house as a tool, just like a 401k through reverse mortgage.
Well, that's right. That's why we talk about managing home equity, because there's a number of options you have when you're managing your home equity. You can take a monthly payment for as long as you live in the home. You can take a line of credit that's there for emergencies. You can take lump sum of cash for home repairs, or some combination of the three. But in any event, the house is always paid off. So if there is a mortgage, that's an increase in cash flow.
Thank you guys both so much for being here. Really appreciate your time. Scott and Christina Harmes,
Thank
the
you.
Harmes team.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about a reverse mortgage, go to the website on the screen, or if you'd like a free consultation, please call the number that you see right now for Scott and Christina Harmes, the only people I trust to send you to for questions about reverse mortgages. And stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.